So want to start, want to ask everybody, what is the status on installation quickly? Where are we? Did you guys get the permission to install MySQL on your Genpact laptop? Shweta? Not Shweta, I think.
Yes, Shweta, Pratik. So I have received communication that MySQL database is not available. Only the workbench is available. So I need to connect with them through Zoom call or something. Today only I will be connecting.
So workbench at least is available, right?
Yeah, workbench is there and it's installed since 2 months.
Okay. Give me 1 second, guys.
So I'm just reading on that happened.
Workbench, does everybody have workbench now? That will also help me.
Yes, sir. Yes, Pratik, we have.
Yes, Pratik. Bench.
MySQL is not available, and on the backend, and please join this.
Yeah, so today I will be connecting. Let's see what else they can do. I mean, like half an hour before I got that message.
ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, no worries. Let's assume that nobody has it then. Yeah, it's easier to assume that way. So yeah, okay, that's fine. Let's now another question that I wanted to ask, that I can see 24 people who have tried to create the tables. What about the rest of the folks? Because I know that there are a lot more number of people than 24 here. What are the rest of the folks? Were you guys? I mean, I don't have who all have done it. I mean, I can only see the names here, but and then there are some people who would have done it multiple times. So there are a lot of people who have not created the basic tables that I had asked to create a couple of classes ago.
So Pratik, Faisal said I've created in the workbench the software that I have right now in my system.
And I am also.
So,
okay, all right. Let me ask this question a little differently. Who all have not created, or who all have not found the time to do what I had asked you to do in terms of creating the tables and all of that? The assignment that I had given you 2 classes ago on last Friday. So who all have not been able to do that?
Pratik, I'm not created in pop-up SQL server. I'm just creating this, connecting to the server directly with my SQL workbench. So
Anyway, I'm okay with it. I'm asking for people who have not done either of the 2 things.
okay.
Who neither created over here in Pop SQL or and not have they created on MySQL Workbench. Is there anybody?
Myself, Pratik, I don't have any software right now.
No, but for Pop SQL, you don't need any software, Shubham.
But I don't have also MS Access in my desktop.
How does it
Genpact
matter?
desktop.
Shubham, for Pop SQL, I had done everything for you. Why do you need MS Excel in your desktop, Shubham?
But so I need the application, no?
Which
it's on
application?
cloud.
Shubham, for Pop SQL, we are doing everything in cloud. There is no application that you need, right?
Yeah, it's on cloud, but I am attending the class on my phone.
I mean, you have a laptop, right? I mean, you have
No,
a machine.
no, I don't have a laptop.
I mean, now you,
desktop.
let me pause it just a minute, Pratik.
All right, yes. So yesterday in the LMS, we had uploaded a few scripts whereby you had to create a database. I mean, you have to create multiple tables in your in the credit card database. So I see such some of the folks have done it, and some of the folks, I mean, who all tried? I mean, if you can put it in the chat window, did you face any issue while creating, those tables that I had asked you to do?
So,
Yeah, Pratik.
Pratik, I have difficult to connect the server. If I face the difficulty from the pop-up and also with the, and I connected to the workbench, but how can understand? How can we start? How can we get the data and table and whatever something? So it's difficult to understand to workbench because I'm connected here, not on pop-up SQL.
No, it's the same thing. In in Workbench as well, right? What step did you find difficult, Vivek?
So, I'm
Go ahead
not
and share your
able
screen,
to.
Vivek.
Can I share my screen?
Sure, please go ahead.
Yeah. So I connected your given server sample something. Yeah, this is connection and this is database. But I can't understand anything. Where's from? Where can I write programs? Where can I create a table and delete and so interface? I can't understand.
Okay, I think I explained this, but I will explain it again. No worries. Here
Okay.
you see this which says query 1 tab, right?
Okay.
Here. You see
Can
this?
I give control? No, I can't.
Array? You can't see. Do you see my annotation?
No.
Can't. Can others see it?
No, we
Yes.
can't.
Yes, Vinay.
No, I can't.
No, Vinay.
No, Pratik.
Ooh.
No, Pratik.
Oh, no.
You don't see anything on the screen?
No, Pratik.
No,
No, Pratik. No, Pratik.
Pratik.
I can
Currently-
see Vivek's screen.
I
Just
can
now.
see the tool and the text mentioned on that. Nothing else.
Acha.
There was no query, just one.
No. Do you see my annotation here?
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
No, Pratik.
arrow.
Application we can see, but yes, there is
Your
just one
annotation is
mention in the
Python
text, so nothing else.
I have created 5 arrows. Do you see it?
Now,
No,
yes,
Pratik.
Yes.
Now we are able to see.
Now
Yes,
it's
yes.
visible.
Only one arrow.
now I can see. Now I can see.
Okay. Acha. Surprising. Give me a second. Let me figure out something is wrong with my machine. No. Seems all right. Okay. Anyway, so the idea is that the only difference in the interface is that in Pop SQL, we used to see the credit card database on top somewhere here. And then there was this this arrow button right next to the tables in the credit card DB, right? You see the arrow button, Vivek?
Yes.
Do you see the arrow button, arrow right next to, there, right next to the tables, yeah. When you click on it, it shows all the tables which have been created. Do you
Okay.
understand? Now,
Yes.
Vivek, have you created any tables?
No, yeah, not yet.
Okay, so you're not created any of the tables,
So
right?
this is a difficult to understand the where can I and how can I?
Okay, so here you see this on the right hand side where it says query 1 tab. You see
Okay,
the
this is
this one.
okay.
I don't know why my annotation is not working, but yeah, this is the query 1 tab, right? This is where you write your queries.
Okay, whatever select from this and that.
Yeah.
Well,
So
everything is here. Okay.
yes. And
output, I think output is we found here.
Yeah. Just like how we saw there, same here in the action output down below, you'll find the output, and Yeah, I mean, and plus the benefit of connecting with Workbench is that you're not restricted to only one database. You can actually see Ankita database. Just click on this this down arrow button right next to the database, credit card DB, right next
This
to the
one?
credit card. Yeah, this one. And then you can see all these other databases which some people have created by mistake or whatever intentionally. So anyway, what you need to do is that you need to mention which database you want to work with here by writing a use statement.
Okay.
So here write use.
Select.
No, write use first. So that
Okay, use USC
use credit underscore DB, card underscore DB
underscore
card underscore
DB
semicolon.
Pratik, we can also write show database also before use
Yes,
to
you
check
can.
all the database.
Yes, you can. Then it will show you all the databases which are there in the server.
And how can we create
Done.
on database?
Wait,
Please
wait.
tell us.
Wait. Huh? So now select this statement to run it. To select the statement.
Okay.
And then there is a lightning symbol right next to it, right? Yeah.
This one.
Yeah. Now, if you look at the output, action output down below, right?
This one.
You see the green tick mark right next to it.
Yes.
Which means no problem, no error, right?
Okay.
And if you notice, there is a message column, the third column here, message, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that means if there is any error, then it will come over here.
Okay.
Okay. Now, since we are just using the database, so there is no output per se, right? But what it has done is on the left hand side, if you notice, credit underscore card underscore DB has been highlighted. On the left hand side in the navigator, go up.
Yeah. This one is
that
highlighted.
Is the database highlighted. That means we are now going to run all the statements on this database.
Okay.
Okay. Now write enter. Here,
right click
in the query tab. Press enter. And I will give a line space between the two statements.
Okay.
And then you can write any other statements that you have learned in the class that I've shared as well with you.
Pratik, sorry to cut you off. I see a different window in my system. Although I can see the table I have created and the database, but I do not see this credit underscore card underscore DB. I guess I've done something wrong.
Maybe not something wrong. Did you connect to a local instance of the database, or because he is connected to the cloud instance?
When I connected, so after the connection, I just extract all information from the database. So I check mark and just extract all information. Then I will get this database.
Anyway, so Vivek, to answer your query, this is where you run all your statements, and to save this script file, each tab can be saved as an individual file. What you do is that just go to file, save as file. No, you have to go to navigate to file. You have
file.
Save script as second last option. Save script as, and then you can save it as any file with an extension .sql, just like how you save any file, right? So just like whatever. I mean, give.
So anyway. Extension should be given here.
When you save a file, do you normally give an extension? You don't, right? I mean, extension is already save as type is written.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pratik.
Yeah, wait.
Okay.
Did you understand, Vivek? Is it done?
Yes.
All right, good. Stop sharing now, please. Now, who's the next person who's trying to talk? Because I can see
Faisal.
Now, what is the issue that you are facing?
So I go to this window. I created my
Faisal, what you have done is that you have created your own local database, right?
Okay.
So if you go to the home icon on the top left hand side,
yes,
and then you see this,
yes,
right? This is your local instance. I mean again the same thing.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. It just opens a tab. You can close it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see my red annotation now?
Yes. On the home? Yes, I can see it. Yeah.
So how come he was not able to? Okay. Anyway, so the idea is that you have created a connection to a local server.
Okay.
है ना?
Mm-hmm.
I get a point. Now, what Vivek had done was, remember I had given you guys credentials to
Password.
my cloud
Yes.
database.
Yes.
है ना?
Yes.
My cloud database server.
Yes.
So what
Yes.
he had done was that he had clicked on this plus sign. You can also click on it, plus,
Okay.
and then you can create another connection. Here you can write connection like AWS, cloud database, or whatever you want to write. Doesn't name can be anything. Cloud database or something, you know. And then in the host name that you see here is the host name that I had provided to you. Remember host name, that big one, and then
Yes.
I had given you the username as well as admin, and I had given you the password as well. You can try it. I mean, it's just going to take a second. Everybody can see it also. Not this.
That's my question is.
No, not this one. This was the steps.
Where is assignment was there?
So it was there in the assignment one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. So you have this. Copy this without the space. Okay. Don't copy any extra spaces. Yeah. So where the host name says, yeah, just put it there. And the username is admin. Right? And then click on store in vault, the password, and then give the password from there. I think it's capital I, VY.
VYPRO something.
Capital P, capital P,
RO
double one, exclamation.
exclamation.
And press OK. Test. Now here, if you have the, if you want, you can give the database name if you want to connect to a particular database, or if you don't give the database name here, you will be connected to the entire database server and you will probably get access to the entire, all the databases which are there. Let it be blank. And then click on test connection. So it says connection is successful, right? Now click on OK. Yeah. So now click over here. Now if you notice, you have all the databases.
Okay.
Now you can also write use credit card, something, whatever here.
Use credit
Underscore
card underscore DB.
Semicolon.
Sorry. Semicolon and then
Select and run.
enter.
Select and run always, huh? Don't run it without that. Here it works because there is only one query, so it ran properly. Now, if you notice, it's got highlighted, right? That means you have this particular database.
Select
star from customers. Star from customers.
Okay.
From.
Oh, sorry.
Select from where this is the basic construct.
Customers.
Semicolon. Select and run. Bad habit.
Control enter. Okay.
Select and control enter. Generally, I mean, because right now is once we start writing many lines of codes, and can be a challenging. So now, if you notice, this is the result output, right?
Yes.
And if you want, I mean, if you don't want to see this contextual help, which I hate, so what you can do is there is a small blue thing here at the end. Here, click on it.
Okay.
It kind of increases that. And if you want to increase the font size also here, I think you need to go to tools. See if you go to tools. Go to view. No. Go to query. Sorry, I keep forgetting that. I'll figure it out. I keep forgetting where that step. Maybe it's anyway, I'll tell you, how to increase the font size here. Okay. Anyway, so
Okay,
now
sure.
are we clear with both the set of people? Some of the folks who are using MySQL Workbench and some of the folks who are using Pop SQL. What is the different ways of connecting to the same database, right? And running the statements. I think everybody's clear now.
Yes, Pratik.
Yes.
Pratik, I have built a connection, but I am not able to see that in Workbench.
You built the connection, but you're not able to see
these files.
Go to share
I
the
guess
screen.
the same issue.
Just give me.
What
Let
I
me
have.
share my screen. I have joined with some other computer. Let me join with that. Give me a minute.
So, Girish, what problem are you facing? Girish, can you share your screen? Go ahead and share your screen, please.
So I am unable to see those schemas.
Right.
Click on the schemas below.
Admin and schemas. Yeah.
Where? So, okay. Okay. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay, I also got that. Thank you.
So many things can be solved if you guys discuss with each other also.
Pratik, one just quick question.
Yes, Chidis.
I also dropped a note on that email. So can you please, unlock the content on LMS? I mean, like Ishani did. So we
okay.
can,
I will
download
do that. Chanchal, are you there, Chanchal?
I was also.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's note it down. I forgot. I should have done it. Let's unlock the course content so that they don't have to forcefully go through each and every lecture. Yeah, Chanchal?
So I can't hear you. Your voice is breaking.
I will tell you. Just remind me
Okay.
to, after the class.
Okay, sir.
You all can hear me loud and clear, right? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Pratik.
Yes, Pratik.
And Pratik, I have received last file, yesterday file, as you have told that you will upload that file.
Yeah,
yesterday
but it's loaded on the LMS. Did you go through it?
I have gone through it, but it's showing go to last session.
You have to just
It's
click on
practice. It's showing practice statement only, that old one, not new one.
I'll show you the trick. I know, I mean, my mistake, but the trick to do that is just click on complete and continue. What is the name of the course?
So Genpact, relational databases and SQL.
Genpact SQL queries and builds. Like this one.
SQL queries and relational database.
I will just do it right.
Thank you, Pratik.
Thank you.
Okay. So anyway, I mean, just for everybody's understanding, it's actually not very difficult to change that. Let's say I am in this. Yeah, let's say I'm here, right? And I want to go to the next lecture. Just go to that particular one and then just click on complete and continue. And then it'll take you to the next one and then click on complete and continue. It'll take you to the next one as well.
This slide, how can I download this?
This you can download from here. Just click on it. And then
So this one is fine. No, I cannot download this file. It's a text document. It downloads a text document.
Click on it, then it downloads it as a text.
Yes.
Right? And
PDF we are not able to download.
Yeah.
There are 2 PDFs. So all three I have been through, but these 2 PDFs we haven't.
We'll figure it out. I'll talk to the tech team to see how can we, because
So we
we'll
can
talk.
copy that matter and then paste in Word.
Yeah, but
Then we can
I will talk to the tech
That's
team.
99 page.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
90. I haven't opened that.
So Pratik, previously we also have a same issue, but Ishani helped us. Like she made it downloadable. Like
Yeah. I will get it done. I will get it done. I know I will get it done. That's no problem.
Pratik, still the content is locked for me. I can't
No,
access.
so that's what I'm saying. You just have to go to previous one. Are all content locked for you? Is that what he's trying to say? Like you can't even access the first one?
Hi Pratik, yes.
Yes,
I can't open the first one.
Okay,
So
if
go
that
to
is the
last
case,
session.
if that is the case, you have to I mean, just let Vinay know. Vinay, if you can let us know who all are not able to, who all are seeing that unlock message, okay? Because that unlock message should not come. If they can't access anything, that means they have not been added to the course. So we'll get them added.
Pratik, now I am able to see this after putting the
that.
Complete and continue. After click on that.
Yeah, you should be. But I think he's saying that he can't access any. And guys, there is an email address that I will give you, right, which is exclusively for you guys. If you're not able to access, just drop an email here. We'll get it resolved. I mean, if it is during business hours, we'll get it resolved in next less than half an hour. I'll put in the email address in the chat window also. Anyway, so guys, yesterday I had given you guys, queries. I'd given you guys queries or scripts to create the loans. I mean, the database related to the, the loans, the tables related to the loans database. And so there were all these tables that were there: employee table, the loan status table, and the what was the third table that you had in that? Customers table.
Customer,
right?
Yeah. And did you guys see that we created primary key constraints and we created foreign key constraints in this? Did you see them? Everybody?
Yes.
Did you understand? Did you understand what happened there? No?
No.
Okay. So let's look at these statements quickly, guys. Okay. Now, imagine that what I'll do is I'm going to do it over here because I want to actually drop this database and then recreate this database, and then we will connect with it. So let's say I'm dropping this database completely, right? So if I refresh it, you will not be able to find this database called as loan_db_new anywhere. Then I'm going to create this database, select this and create this database. Got it? Essentially what we are doing is, in this new database, loan_db_new, we will create 3 tables. The customers table, the employee table, and the loan status table. These are the 3 tables we will create. And also we will create relationships between them. How is customer table related to the loan status table, and how is the loan table related to the loan status table? So we will do these activities here. I am here assuming that there is a one-to-many relationship between customer and the loans table. Did you understand? Yesterday, if you remember, we discussed a different type of relationship between customer and loans. What are the type of relationship that we had discussed yesterday between customer and loans, guys?
Too many.
Many to many, right? We had assumed that there is a many to many relationship between customer and loans yesterday. But today I am saying, let's simplify this little bit and let's assume that there is only one to many relationship between customer and loans. That means one customer can apply for many loans, but one loan cannot have more than one customer. That means no joint applications are allowed. Now, let me ask you this question. If it is a one-to-many relationship, where would the foreign key go, guys? The foreign key will go in the
many
side. Right? So here we will end up creating one more foreign key called as cust ID. Do you all agree?
Yes.
Right? Now, if you look at these scripts, then we have done the same thing. Now, let's say now we are using that loans_db_new because, and if I here you have to keep refreshing actually. Now, if you notice, I've got loan_db_new here. Okay. Now, the best part is we created this database here. If I go to Pop SQL, and in Pop SQL, here where it says credit card DB, if I click on it, if you notice, it gives me, okay, I'll have to refresh the connection. And it's going to fetch. Okay, it's not showing it here, but it will come. It just, probably takes a few seconds more, but it will come over here. Which database will come over here, guys?
Loan database.
The loan database, right? It will come over. So let's consider that in code and then generate one zip file. Okay, it just takes a little bit of time. But anyway, so this will come over here. Okay. Now, oh, I'm so sorry, it will not come over there because here I'm connected to the local instance. Okay, I should put it over here. Let me take these statements.
Somehow the database is case sensitive.
Yeah, in Pop SQL, but not over here.
No, I was searching this database in the in Workbench.
Pratik,
no, it's not case sensitive.
So Pratik, when I was creating this database, you see loan database Sanch, as I have put this, right?
Yeah.
What it was doing that when I was creating it, it gave me an error, failed, but then still it's showing as a database.
Yeah.
And what all statement I was typing or running, it was giving me a failed error.
You know what you had to do was that establish a new connection. I get a point. And then in that new connection, you had to follow the same steps and you had to give that particular database.
Okay. Yeah. That is why it was giving me an error that there's no file, no database on credit, something.
Absolutely right.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Because remember, in Pop SQL, when we establish the connection to a particular database.
Yes. So each time, if we create a database, then once we create a database, then we need to make a connection and then create tables on.
Yes. Okay. If you're using Pop SQL.
Okay.
Okay. Which is not such a big deal. Why? Because it's not as if every day you'll end up creating new databases. I get a point.
Yes.
So if you notice, I just dropped that database, and I will create this database again. And so this database is created, but this database does not have any tables in it. So what we will do is, and I'm going to use this database now, this one. Then we will create these tables, create the customer table. Now in customer table, if you notice, there are a couple of things, guys. We have spoken about char 100 in the past as well. And then let's say for email, I assign it as a varchar. Now, what is the meaning of varchar and what is the difference between char and varchar? Both these fields, the customer field and the customer name field and the email field will contain character, will contain text value, string value. But the only difference is that here the upper limit is 100 characters and here the upper limit is 50 characters. That's the first limit, this first difference. The second difference here is that char fields get static memory allocation. What does it mean? It means if I'm entering customer name as Rupa, which takes only 4 characters, then also in the memory where the data is getting stored, it will go ahead and allocate, it will go ahead and reserve 100 characters worth of memory. Is it making sense? 100 characters worth of memory.
Every time?
Every time. Doesn't matter, irrespective of the actual size of customer name. It will go ahead and reserve 100 characters worth of memory. Do you understand, Vivek?
Okay. If my name is Vivek Singh, so it's a 10 or 11, 1 space 11. So rest is
rest is padding, which we call it as padding. Padding meaning nothing is there, but it is taking memory.
Okay.
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 So that is called a static memory allocation. Good fields where you know that the size does not vary much. For example, PAN card, now which is alphanumeric, PAN card number, right, Vivek? But we all know that PAN card is 8 characters only. So for PAN card kind of field, we will go ahead and allocate them as char, right? But for example, emails, descriptions, comments, any such field which is going to have a variable length, right? And we are not very sure whether it can be 5 characters, can be 50 characters also. So let's say if I have assigned as a varchar 50, the upper limit is 50, no problem. But the actual memory allocation will happen depending on the actual number of characters entered into a particular email field. So if somebody's email is shorter in nature, then only that number of characters would be reserved in the memory. So it is called as a dynamic memory allocation. This, of course, is more memory optimized. But then the problem here is with varchar fields is that it ends up taking more time to update and insert data for varchar fields. Do you understand, Vivek, what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
And do you understand why it ends up taking more time?
No.
The reason why it ends up taking more time is because every time somebody enters the data for a varchar field, the system needs to calculate the total size, total length of it.
Okay.
I get a point.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
All right, great. Now, DOB field is date type, date data type, and it cannot be left blank. This is a constraint that we have given, restriction that we have given, that the DOB field cannot be left blank. It is a mandatory field. And then we're creating another constraint here called as cust_pk, and we are assigning cust ID column, this column, as primary key. Right? Constraint cust_pk, primary key, cust ID. This cust_pk, it is just a reference to the fact that cust ID is primary key. You could have given your dog's name if you want. Is it making sense, everybody?
How is it referencing that table?
So let me tell you another method. Let's say if I write this primary, okay, no problem. This will also assign cust ID column as the primary key. And we discussed yesterday that if a column has been assigned as primary key, that means there are 2 properties or 2 restrictions it gets, or 2 constraints it gets. First, it will be unique. That means no 2 customer IDs can have the same, no 2 customers can have the same customer IDs. Second, no 2 customers can have the same customer IDs in the customers table. Second, customer ID is a mandatory field now. It cannot be left blank. Is making sense, everybody?
Yes, Pratik.
Yes, Pratik. Yes.
Now, look at this. Here, what I'm doing is I'm assigning a constraint to the email field, and the constraint nature, the type of constraint is that it is going to be unique. Now, unique meaning it cannot be left, it cannot have duplicate values. But unique is not same as primary key, because primary key is also mandatory. But unique columns are not necessarily mandatory columns. It can be left blank. Just that two customers cannot have the same email ID. Is it making sense?
Yes.
Now, the only question then remains is, what is this UNQ then? This UNQ is a reference to the fact that email is unique. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, guys? That means if in the future, if you want to remove this fact without removing the email column, you want the email column to remain, but you do not want this property, this constraint to be applied to the email column anymore. Then what you can do is that you can just drop this constraint. That way, the email column, the field and the data will remain the same. But the property would change from being unique to just being a normal column. Look at the way we will do it. So we'll
Yes, that is why this it kind of a variable, right?
Yeah. So if I run this statement, select and run this statement, it creates a table. Let's refresh it.
Prateek, can you please explain this UNQ part again? Sorry, I'm not getting it.
I'm doing it. Chitiz, do you see that this table is created here, Chitiz?
Yes.
And if you also notice that, okay, and you know, what we have done is that there are two constraints in this table. One is that the cust ID is a primary key. Second is that the email column is the unique column, right, Chitiz?
Yeah, right.
Now, imagine I run an alter statement, alter table customers, drop constraint, drop foreign key, not drop foreign key, drop index UNQ. Now, what is this index here? It's one of those things which is kind of confusing about MySQL. I mean, in most of the other databases, the syntax is this. Okay, guys, I'll tell you, and then I'm going to come back to that thing. So drop constraint, and the constraint is UNQ. What this statement? This will give you an error in this in MySQL SQL, but this is the popular way of dropping a constraint in any other database except for MySQL database. Okay. Alter table customers drop constraint UNQ. So what do you think is going to happen here, Chitiz?
It will drop that unique constraint from that email column.
Yeah. So that means, will the email column be dropped as well, Chitiz?
No. Okay.
So the email column will exist, right? The data of the email column will also be there, whatever data, if there was any data, right? But the fact that email column was to be unique, that fact would be dropped, Chitiz.
Okay, so UNQ is kind of a name for that unique constraint, which we are applying on that email column.
That's right.
Okay.
Prateek, here the question is that can we put more than one unique constraint?
Meaning, can a table have
more than
2 or 3 columns which have unique constraints?
Yeah. And then if we type the statement alter tab customer drop constraint unique, so all the uniques will drop.
So, if you have given unique here, so you would make unique 1 or something.
Okay.
It has to be a unique. I mean, it has to be a distinct name.
Okay.
Different
Just
name.
like as variable, right?
Yeah. Can't have repeated. Okay. In MySQL SQL, for dropping a unique constraint, you know, it's a little different, you know, in MySQL SQL. In MySQL SQL, we write, instead of, so we write alter table customers drop, and then we write the type of that. The unique constraint is called as an index constraint. I don't want to go into the details of that. That will take a lot of time. It's not very, very relevant for people who are becoming analysts. More if you are becoming a database admin, I would have gone into the lot of indexing concept as well. But here, I will just skip that for a moment. Just believe my word that alter table customers drop index, and then the type of index, the name of the index, which is name of the constraint, which is UNQ. What this will do is, if I run this statement, it will not drop the email column, by the way, guys. See, email column is highlighted here. See, if I click on I here, this is the beauty of or if I describe the customers table, what do you think this describe statement will give you? It will give you the metadata of it, right? Everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
If I run this statement, oh, okay, sorry. This is my SQL on cloud, right? So it is case sensitive. No. Anyway. So if you notice here, these are the fields, 4 fields that we have created. These are the data types. And look at this column, null. If you notice, it is no for the cust ID column. Right? And it is also no for the DOB column. Why? Because cust ID was the primary key column. That means it has to be, it is a mandatory column as well as it is unique. Right? As well as DOB column, we have put a constraint that it should be not null. Right? Now, if you also notice that key column here, field, says that email is unique and cust ID is PRI, which means primary key, right? But look at the beauty of it. If I drop this constraint and if I rerun this, and then if I rerun this statement, if you notice, email is no longer UNI, whatever that was, UNI, I think. Yeah?
Yes.
Chitesh? But the column is still there.
Yes,
So anyway,
that
there are
makes
two methods of creating a constraint. One method is use a tag like this constraint and then give a reference name, so which gives you flexibility in the future to modify that. The second method of creating the constraint is just write the constraint type right next to the column data type, like over here and like over here. Clear?
Clear.
Pratik, what is this column default null?
Default null, I'll come back to it. Just give me a second.
And Pratik, also tell me, can we define the constructor below the email? Yeah, below the email line.
Yeah, you can. That's not a problem. Vivek.
You define the after the DOB. Can we define before email?
Over here, is it?
Not here. Below the line, below email.
Oh, before you write the DOB column?
Yeah.
No. So once you're done with all the fields, then you create the constraints. If you're using this method of creating the constraints, Vivek.
What is the other method? Just tell, Pratik.
This other method that you just write the constraint name, I mean the constraint type right next to the column.
Okay, like email, where car, and then unique, right? Just like that. UNI.
No, unique.
Okay, unique.
Okay. Now, don't try to memorize these commands, guys. Okay, please just it's not worth your time. Why am I saying that? These commands need not to be memorized because I mean they vary a little bit slightly from one database to another, and these are not some things that we do very, very often, like every day, like 5 times a day. You would not do something like this. You'll not end up creating tables or altering their nature, constraints and columns every day. You would not. You would run a lot of select statements, query data, this and that, update data. Those we will do a lot. But these, you should be able to read the statements and understand kya ho raha hai, what is going on in here. Is it making sense?
Yes.
Because at times when I see that a lot of people end up trying to memorize, and how have I memorized? I mean, see, I've been doing this, and hence I kind of know. But you might have seen, because I've worked with so many databases, so at times I also get confused. Okay, which database, what syntax, a little bit this and that. So which is natural. Okay, so don't try to memorize. All the reference statements are available on Google. I'm going to give to you as well. I mean, when you have to do, you just copy and paste. You should know what to change, where to change what. If you want to drop the primary key, then you will write alter table customers drop primary key. If you want to add a new constraint, then alter table customers add the constraint the name of the constraint, the nature of the constraint, and the column on which this constraint is applied. This again is something that you can give anything, cust_p. But of course, we try and give something which is logical in nature. Now, here, if you notice, we are creating 5 fields: employee ID, first name, last name, email, salary. But for salary column, we have set the default value is 0. Meaning, suppose if I run this statement, and if I describe, do you notice that the salary column's default value is 0 now? It's no longer null. Is it making sense? So if somebody has not entered any salary, then it will be assigned as 0. Clear, everybody?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Now I'm going to create the loan status table, guys. Okay, what is the loan status table? The loan status table is the center table, the loans table. Let's call it as loan table only. Why should we call it as loan status? Let's call it as loans. Now, the loans table has all these fields, and then it should have one cust ID and one employee ID as foreign key. Okay, so if you notice, Eklavya has just given a bomb in the chat window that you guys will have an assessment, small assessment. Very, very simple one. Don't worry about it too much. Loan ID integer, loan status binary, true false, right? Loan type varchar, cust ID integer, employee ID integer. Now this table has at least 3 constraints. One, that loan ID is the primary key, so which is this. The name of that constraint is L_pk. The second is that cust ID column. This column is going to be at the foreign key. This column is going to be the foreign key referencing to the customer's table cust ID. Do you see this? Foreign key cust ID, which is this column, references customer's table cust ID. Do you see this, guys? Yeah.
Can you show me that in Excel?
Okay. Here. In here, this column that we created, right, Faisal, which is going to be the foreign key for the connection with the customer's table. This column refers to the customer table cust ID. Right, Faisal?
Yes, yes. So that's why the reference is mentioned on cust ID.
Reference is customer's table cust ID, comma, another foreign key, employee ID, which is this column, which references employee table emp ID. I get a point. So it runs it, and it would describe loans. So you can see these are the foreign keys.
What is this MUL?
And to be very frank, I forgot the full form.
No problem. You can come back.
I forgot the full form. But essentially, it is just the foreign key. I get a point.
Yes, Pratik.
And if you want to drop the foreign keys, you can. Okay. Now, this way, we create a interrelated entity relationship diagram. And this is what I had asked you guys to do yesterday. Yeah. Today, I'm going to upload some scripts, guys, to insert the data into the into these tables that we have created. That means into the customers table, the employee table, and the loans table. I'm going to upload these data manipulation language statement, insert, update, delete, select, right? The same database that we just created, right? Try to use the same database and insert into the same database columns using this. Yeah, follow these statements, try to understand. I mean, we have done all these statements, so you should know how to insert the data, you should know how to read the data, you should also know how to update the data, how to delete data from the table. We have discussed all these things, guys. Yes, everybody.
Yes,
Remember the
yes,
CUDA
Pratik.
operation.
Yeah,
Yes.
So just follow these scripts and you'll be able to do, you'll be able to create the entire table. I mean, insert the data as well. And then tomorrow onwards, I want to start with querying part, which is what as an analyst we do, which is to analyze the data. Okay, which is to query data from multiple tables, right? So that's what we will start doing from tomorrow. I would just love if everybody has access to the workbench, but now, even if you do not, we figured out a way, I mean, we will actually just use the cloud database, and we will work with that. Clear, everybody?
Yes, Pratik. We are able to do at Pop SQL as well, Pratik. So from my end, there is no issue. I have just connected to Loan DB new as well. So everything I'm able to do it.
Acha. I mean,
From learning, yeah, from learning perspective, we are all set.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Thank you, Pratik, for that.
The only thing that you're doing is that you're populating all these tables into my cloud database server, which is fine. I mean, I've got 20 terabyte of data with me, so really, literally no problem there. You can put data; it's really no problem. Yeah. By the way, if you guys are a little bit inquisitive about it, right? How you can also create an AWS account. See, right now you're using my Amazon Web Services account, right? Which is I'm fine. If you want to also learn how can you create your own AWS account, and how can you own, and it's for free. First year is for completely free. So, and you can own it completely. Even after the training, you don't have to rely on me or my account. You can just do everything by yourself. It can be your personal secured account. So I will just give you one YouTube tutorial. I mean, I have already recorded it, and where I've spoken specifically about how to run the queries. So if you guys are interested at all, I mean, you can actually, I don't know if you can copy the link from here or not, but I'm just saying that it's essentially, if you go to IB's YouTube channel, and which is youtube.com/IB Pro School, you'll find one thing which says run SQL queries, or you just search this thing on Google, and I'm sure you will find it. Run SQL queries, you'll find this.
Can you put this in LMS?
Yeah, LMS.
I will. Okay, okay, no problem. I will.
Also, Pratik, as we have downloaded the workbench, right, SQL workbench, so somehow can we use it simultaneously also?
Yeah, no problem. I mean, you saw me doing it, right? Right now, I did a few things here, then I changed my browser, and I did a few things in Pop SQL, Sandeep. No problem.
Okay.
In fact, it gives you that flexibility that, what, I mean, if you're, let's say, traveling somewhere in Europe and you don't have access to your own database, I mean, your own laptop, right? You can use any other person's desktop or machine, and you can get connected to a cloud database with just Pop SQL. I mean, it's as friendly as that. Right. In fact, if you want, you can also run these statements on the mobile, although the screen is going to be so small. But if you have, let's say, iPad or something like that, you can definitely do it without any problem.
Great.
Yeah. So okay, I think I have one question. If we are running on some other database, so is there any way we can protect our database also?
That's what. Right now, Ashish, I have given you everything, right?
Right.
It's not a practical scenario, of course. Normally, what would happen is that even if I was the owner of that data warehouse, which is running on a cloud server, I would have created multiple users, Ashish, and I would have given privileges to the users. Most of the users
Okay.
would have gotten only select privilege, meaning they could probably connect to the database and only read tables. Do you understand? Not modify any data, no update, no delete, no drop at all, no create at all, nothing.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
And I would have then created multiple levels of accesses, and I would have given you the user's account. Do you understand, Ashish?
Right.
Got it. That's a practical scenario. Here I have given you the admin account, which has root password.
Okay.
Good for learning, but of course, this is not the practical scenario. More practically speaking, you would have to go through multiple channels even to read access to a table.
Okay.
You get the point?
Okay, sir.
Pratik, what shall be the query for dropping a constraint without giving a name to the constraint?
What shall be the statement to drop a constraint without giving the name of the constraint? Is that what you're trying to say?
Right.
Okay, so the only constraint that you can drop without giving the name of that constraint is the primary key constraint.
And foreign key as well, I believe.
No, foreign key you have to mention the name of the constraint because the table can have multiple foreign keys. The table cannot have more than one primary key. Gunjan.
Okay.
Did you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
If you notice here, line 63 and 64, I've not given the name of the constraint here. I mentioned drop primary key. So it would drop the primary key column, not the constraint.
Right. So would it be same applicable if we provided the unique constraint in front of the column rather than adding it as a constraint later on?
See, that's the thing, Gunjan. If you assign the constraint without naming it, which means you just come over here and you write unique, then what it does is that it does not create a reference name to that constraint. That means you are now devoiding yourself. I mean, you are now saying that, hey, I do not want to change this constraint ever in the future. Gunjan.
Okay. So we won't be able to drop this constraint if we define like this.
Then you'll have to drop this column completely.
Whole column, right? Exactly.
And then create it again. But that's a pain.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks.
Pratik, what does this index means?
Index is the name of this. I mean, for example, primary key is called as primary key, foreign key is called as foreign key. Unique constraints are called as index in MySQL. Okay. In the other SQL, it would just be called as constraint.
Okay.
See, why some of these databases differ from each other in some SQL statements here, because different people have kind of created these databases. They have not even roughly, they have followed the SQL protocol, but at times these are open source, not really validated by any large corporate, so they created the way they created it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, Sanjeev?
Yes, Pratik.
So yeah. All right, guys. So there are two things that I'm expecting you all to do between today and tomorrow. One, I am going to upload the insert statements, the DML statements, whereby you will be able to insert, update, delete, and select. These are all the things that we have already done, but this will help you to do it in the database that we just created. Okay, so it's a good practice. And tomorrow onwards, we will just focus on run select query on larger data sets, larger tables which has multiple data in it and so forth. So that's what we will do from tomorrow. Alrighty, guys. Thanks a lot for attending today's session. I'm going to be here for the next 5 minutes or so. I mean, if you guys have any question, otherwise, you can drop off.
Thank you, Pratik. Do we have all this available on LMS? The query which we, the query one tab.
The query that we saw today. Yeah. This is available. Yes. And the insert, update, delete, we will upload it right away.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
This we had done yesterday. And that's it.
Okay.
Thank you, Pratik. Thank you very much for wonderful session.
Thank you, Sanjeev.
Thank you, Pratik. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratik. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.